Good evening and welcome back. So, as you might be able to see, I have a slightly empty case on the bench in front of me. Hi, Tom. Welcome back. I haven't had a chance to message you yet. I've had a little bit of fun off stream with this computer. As my thumbnail may have alluded to, I had trouble getting the memory out of the motherboard. So, I'm kind of glad I pulled it out off stream. I had to put contact cleaner in the SIMM sockets to get them out. They were quite nicely fused into the SIMM sockets, so much so that without the contact cleaner, it actually made my fingernails hurt trying to pull them out. So I have the motherboard out. I've got it beside me. I'm going to put it on the bench in a moment, but I decided I wanted to pull the power supply out of the case so that I could, well, actually, yeah, I need to pull the power supply out of the case just so I can put the power supply on the bench and not worry about sliding the motherboard in and out of the case all the time. But I have some 30-pin SIMMs that I think work. Or, they at least worked in the Mac LC. We'll see if the 386 likes them. I'm 50-50 shot. We'll see. But I guess I won't know until I try them. But if they don't like, this PC doesn't like them, I have the SIMMs setting on the bench in the order I pulled them out of the motherboard. I might try rearranging them if I can't get some known working SIMMs to work, in the hopes that if one of them's bad, I get the bad memory not where CheckIt is trying to load the executable, and maybe I might at least be able to run a diagnostic, or at least that's the theory. So I also did locate the Cyrix. Yep, actually, that is the other thing I did off stream. In a more reliable computer that I was pretty sure was not going to do something funny in flashing the BIOS. I already have the 386 BIOS on my XT IDE. So I used the 8800 EC to flash that. Alright. Oh, I will set this empty case behind me where I'm certain to accidentally bump into it when I forget that it's sitting there. Alright, so I got the power supply. I believe the AC power is quite safely encased on the switch. But just because there's AC power coming into it, I'll actually control power using the power cord so that I don't actually have to touch the switch just because it has AC power coming into it. Alright, and I have the motherboard out of the case. And you can see the lovely 30-pin SIMM sockets. I'm going to get a close-up of these because these must be the absolute worst SIMM sockets in the world. There's like a teeny tiny little latch that you have to, I think you have to slide it out of the way. It's like whoever designed these SIMMs thought you would have long fingernails. Which I don't. anyways, I finally, well, and I think the SIMMs were pretty much oxidized into the sockets, so I went to Lowe's over my lunch break because that's about the only place I could think of that I could get to quickly and that would have contact cleaner, and it's not Deoxit. No one in my area sells Deoxit, so it's whatever they had. But actually, I sprayed it in the SIMM sockets and waited about a minute or so, and then used the spudger I'd been trying to use to slide those latches out of the way, and pulled up on the SIMM and came right out. Yep. And then I sprayed more contact cleaner in the empty SIMM sockets to hopefully get out whatever oxidized surfaces are on it. It's quite possible that that might have actually been the problem with the RAM, if there was not a good contact, but the RAM is not empty RAM, so it is not RAM that I should just assume is bad and throw away without any further testing. So anyways, I am going to, well, I guess I'll go ahead and put this in, because if I can get the system to boot from this compact flash card, it will be a lot quicker. And I have DOS 331 on it and CheckIt, which should be enough to run it. And I guess, because I really wanted to run tests on this VGA card, I'll go ahead and put my 8-bit VGA card in. And, well, I had bumped the thermostat down upstairs, thinking I would give the heat pump a few moments of rest, and, well, given how cold it is outside, yeah, that's about all it got. So, well, I did what I could for audio quality, but the heat pump's going to run because it's just cold outside. Alright. I am also going to, I think I will go ahead and use my GoTech, because I have DOS, I have multiple versions of DOS boot disks on it. So I don't necessarily need to worry about what might work. It also excludes that floppy drive from the equation. Well, because plus if I get it to boot from the XTIDE, that has DOS on it, so I won't need to boot DOS from floppy. So I just used floppy for all the diagnostics I have on it. All right. This floppy cable is very, very well folded, considering it was probably stayed folded in the same position for 30 years. So, well, it's just going to block the view because it's not going to cooperate. Alright, so I guess the first memory I'm going to try, I really don't know if 386SX, if it's going to like 4 megabyte SIMMs. So I think I will first try these 1 megabyte SIMMs. Although we may have trouble with parity, but we'll see. Is that right? Oh wait, no, I think they actually go in this way, maybe? Because the memory was Yeah, I think they go this way. Alright, well, that seems like it's in, and oh, if I can get this, there we go, there's the slot, and alright, I believe that's in as well. So let me move my StreamYard window, open up the window for the capture card. I am on input 1. Move it over to my second monitor, and let's see here, screen share. And I will resize the window as soon as I plug this in, because the capture card will prefer that there's a signal there. There we go. All right. And I believe there might be a slight problem. Or I interrupted the memory test one. Okay. I am not going to ask why computer manufacturers required parity RAM for 386 computers, and that didn't remain a thing. Okay, so I can't use these 1 megabyte SIMMs. And, oh, I'm going to have trouble getting them out. Actually, let me do this. These might give me a little better grip because they have little textured grippy things. Alright, so I am now removing the 1 megabyte SIMMs that I tried to use because, well, they failed the parity check. And that would be because they are non-parity SIMMs. Alright. There we go. Alright, well, I will try these 4 megabyte SIMMs. I'm hoping it will at least use them, even if it doesn't use all the memory. I can always order smaller modules if need be. Alright. So now I have... Yeah, not only likes it, but I think it requires it, because I don't remember there being a setup setting to disable parity. Alright, and it looks like I'll need 1 megabyte SIMMs, because it's only detecting 2 megabytes, and I know these are 4 megabytes each. Alright. Oh, actually, let me see. Here. Well, it does not look like it... I may have to reconfigure the XTIDE. Or there's a conflict. Alright, so... it just booted off the GoTech. To, I think I just, it's just a DOS 3 boot disk. Okay. Let me... in order to try to get the XTIDE working, I'm going to need the other... I'm going to need the floppy drive too. So, alright. Okay. I put it where it defaults to without... I will have to figure out what's available. So, but in order to try to configure it, I need to get CheckIt to run, and in order to run CheckIt, I have to I need the floppy drive because I didn't have a chance to create a disk image of the disk I created for doing XTIDE work. It was quite honestly easier to leave it as a floppy drive. Alright. I guess I'll put the floppy drive in as drive B. So that way I'll boot from the GoTech. I don't know that it's any fast. Well, maybe the GoTech's just a little bit faster than... Alright. Oops. Let's... Oh, I think I bumped the video card out. Putting the floppy drive in. VGA cable? All right. Hold, please. I seem to have lost the video image. Let's see here. All right, the video card is still in the slot. I'm fairly sure that I don't think I'm shorting anything. All right. Huh. Well, let me try the other video card. Maybe my... Is there something wrong with my floppy drive? Alright, I just unplugged the floppy drive. Nothing. Alright. Alright, I guess let me pull the XTIDE out since it's not needed. Alright, well, let me unplug the GoTech. I may have to put this back in the case so that I can plug it into the speaker. Because now I am the motherboard. I am no longer able to get a video signal. Well, let me do some basic troubleshooting here. All right. Let's see, DC. Okay. Alright, I don't know what's what, but I do know. Alright, so that's ground, and that's 5 volts. And I've got 5.03 volts. And 11.92 volts. Alright. And I might have to look the pin out of that up. Okay, so the power supply is outputting voltage. I guess the next step is all right. Did I lay... Did I get something metal on it? No? Well, I don't see anything that I've obviously done. Alright, well, I guess I'm going to have to slip it back in the case so I can plug the speaker in. I don't really feel like... Oh! Well, actually, the speaker's only held in with 1 screw. I was thinking, and it's easily accessible. Okay. All right. Okay, so I pulled the speaker out of the case. Alright, so I'm going to plug the power back in, black in the middle. Alright, I'll leave the memory in. I'm not going to plug anything else in, because this is to listen for beeps. Alright. AMI BIOS 3 beeps. I thought the speaker might have been welded in or riveted in or something. And it was just one screw and I could reach it. Base memory read-write test error in the first 64K block of memory. Well, hi Jay, I'm trying to get this computer to work, and it keeps degrading severely. This is what they call one of those PCs. I'll let you fill in your own definition. At least the base parts are out of view. Clean the socket with brush and cleaner. Yeah. If I can get the memory out. There we go. Although, honestly, I'm beginning to suspect there's a different problem than bad memory. But I don't have schematics for this board to even start to... Alright. Ah, well, that was actually a pretty quick drying contact cleaner. Maybe I should just use some isopropyl alcohol. That'll have at least a little longer dwell time. Oh. Might also... let me see if I... have any... I think it might be time to grab a clean toothbrush. If I have any more. Oh, I do. Oh, there's still contact cleaner down in there. Good. Alright. Guess let me let that have a chance to... If this was deoxide, I would know that I could just... Allow product to dry completely and thoroughly vent system before restoring power. Alright, well, I guess I'm going to have to wait for that to dry. Yeah, let's see here. I'm beginning to suspect there is a... Possibly one of these logic chips might be failing, but... I don't have schematics to know. Hi, Joe. I got it to... So, for those of you just joining, I got it to boot with the 4 megabyte SIMMs that I pulled out of my LC because they're parity SIMMs, and this motherboard apparently requires parity SIMMs. And then I powered it down so that I could install a second floppy drive so I could run CheckIt and then power it back up, and of course, no video. I didn't have the speaker plugged in or I would have heard it beep 3 times. The RAM appears to be pretty clean. Oh, I don't know. It was working in the LC. Maybe LCs are more forgiving. All right. If it continues to give me a problem with this RAM, I'll just put the original RAM back in. I'll probably clean the contacts of it first. Okay, so tried cleaning the sockets. The RAM looked clean, although I gave them a little scrub with the toothbrush. It is 60 nanosecond RAM. The original RAM was 100 nanosecond. I have no other 30-pin SIMMs in the house, so if it doesn't like this memory, I have to go back to the original memory. Yeah, it's way faster than the LC needs, but it's the realities of buying memory on eBay. Okay, I suspect that is no video. And possibly, well, yeah, probably no video. But I guess I'll plug the keyboard in too. All right. Alright, now that seems like that's 3 short beeps, which I thought was RAM. One long beep and 3 short beeps. Failure above the 64K mark. Three short beeps, memory. No, those are both memory. Those beeps are both memory. I think. Wait a minute. Well, actually that was one long beep and... No, you're right. One long beep and 8 short... I think that was 8 short beeps or something. That is video. But now it seems to be complaining about memory again. if it has a CMOS reset jumper, it is not labeled. However, there is one thing I can very easily do that will guaranteed reset the CMOS. There we go. I just popped the battery out of the Glitchworks module. CMOS is now clear. Yeah, that's... I'm pretty sure that's the memory beep. Alright, well, maybe it just really doesn't like that Siemens RAM that I bought for the LC. I mean, I didn't spend a lot on it. They were about $10 a piece, or $12 a piece, which seemed to be a good deal. Alright, so these original SIMMs, I'm going to put them in back. I'm going to put them back in the opposite order they came out. In case there is one of these bad, but I'm beginning to suspect that there's a component on the motherboard. Yeah, back to the old RAM. The new RAM is not working any better than the old RAM was. In fact, it might be working worse. You know, if my transporter was up and running, I'd zap all this RAM over to Ron, and maybe he'd throw it in his RAM tester during his stream in about 15 minutes. But my transporter's broken. It transports the first quantum bit and then throws a blue screen error. Alright, that's with the old RAM. Is it possible that maybe that Siemens RAM is too fast for this computer? Oh, it's not going to remember a bit of these settings. I don't have the battery in. Alright. Yeah, my deflector dish is iced over. From the snowstorm we had earlier in the week. Alright. Let's... Hi, Zodium. Yes, I can conquer worlds with it if I can just get it to work. Alright. It's got... Oh, I forgot to put the battery in. It's got to throw another error here. Alright. Let's see here. Run CMOS setup. I don't have anything installed. I'll go ahead and humor that. Disable that. Alright, let's see if it sees the... Ah, okay. That would make sense. It probably is that memory. Well, I had to try it. It was the only other 30-pin SIMMs I had in the house. I figured it was a long shot. Okay. There is a... Yeah, I guess with the 4 megabyte SIMMs, it would be refreshing the whole 4 megabyte SIMM, even though it only supports 1 megabyte. So, yeah, that probably is. I'm actually surprised it booted the first time. Of course, then again, maybe it wasn't working that well, and I didn't get far enough to know it was really not working with that. What it saw is 2 megabytes. Okay, so now I'm back to this contraption here. It is the GoTech that I have removed from the housing so that I can plug in the card edge adapter that I have. Because this floppy cable that I have is weird, and the only other floppy cable in the house is in my XT computer, and it's even weirder, so, well, this one wins. I don't know that that's saying much. Yeah, it has a card edge only for A drive, and a card edge and a the standard pin connector for the B drive. It's and the 3.5-inch floppy that it came with was plugged into A drive, and it had, this is the adapter, or the adapter I have on here is the one that was actually screwed onto the bracket and drive, because it's the only card edge adapter I have. Alright, so I did put the battery back in. I've got the GoTech and the floppy drive in. I will boot from the GoTech. Not that it's any faster, but at least I know it's more likely to be known good. Let's see here. Keyboard is installed. No, I'm not going to shadow ROMs. Hard drive controller enabled. Yeah, I need to get a universal cable. I keep checking the scrap bin at work every day. I'll walk by it to see if anyone's thrown any old computers away, and if I get there first, to pull the ribbon cables out of them. No one's thrown anything away this week. Yeah, I'll reboot and set the hard drive off. I had to try it with it on to see if maybe it would pick the XT IDE up, but because it wasn't seemingly picking it up with it off. I probably have it misconfigured, or it's conflicting with something, or I don't know. This is one of those times when PCs can be infuriating, because I can't tell what base address everything on the motherboard's configured to, because I don't have the manual. I could probably skip the memory test, but it's yeah, it'll load on its BIOS, but it's not. This computer doesn't seem to be actually running the BIOS on the XT IDE, so I may have a base address conflict. Yeah, well, this is I think I've got it to the point where I can try running CheckIt again, but this is the point where last night I ran into trouble. So let's see. Let me see which disk I have in the drive. Okay, that is the wrong floppy disk. That's the one for XTIDE. So it's the red disk. It has CheckIt on it. All right. Alright, and now we'll see if CheckIt will actually load, because this is the point where it was crashing last night. I mean, it is quite possible. Oh, there we go. Well, maybe the RAM, maybe cleaning the sockets and reseating the RAM fixed the problem. All right. So I guess, is it memory map I want? Maybe I should have probably pulled the XTIDE out before trying to run this, but... All right, well, let's see what it tells me as soon as it finishes working. Any day now, CheckIt. Yeah, I concur. All right. I've just removed the XTIDE since we believe it's conflicting with something. So I'll try again. As long as DOS 3.3 takes to boot, I could almost go upstairs and image my CheckIt disk so that I could use the GoTech to load it. I mean, I think the GoTech is just slightly faster because it doesn't accurately emulate the time it takes to switch between tracks. Now, whether that will actually save me precious moments is up for debate, because I suspect the time it takes CheckIt to load is probably long enough that I'm not sure I would notice those slight delays in track switch times. Alright. Now the thing is, if CheckIt crashes while loading, I can't see the floppy drive light because of reasons. If I was thinking, I would find something reflective enough to set where I would see the reflection of the light, like my potential dead chip bag here. Let's see here. And oh, wait a minute. Oh, I thought I heard the speaker making a noise. Oh, no, that's my heater making little tapping noises because of thermal reasons. Yeah, I'd rather be dealing with SCSI ID conflicts right now. Trying to get 3 drives to work, and those 3 drives only accept the same 2 SCSI IDs because they're limited. That... I think CheckIt crashed. Oh, if I could see the OLED. Yeah, I'll probably have to... I just switched disks. I'm going to try booting from a different DOS disk. Actually, what I did this last time, I hit Control-Delete. So the computer wasn't locked. Is the drive clean? How's that for honesty? I pulled it out of the scrap bin at work. It looked clean. I don't have any of those nice foam swabs for cleaning floppy drives. It's going to have to do. I guess I could go find a Q-tip if I really wanted to, but... Alright. Let me see if I can get anything to maybe run... Oh, here we go. Alright, let's try this. Okay, now how does one have a seek error on a GoTech? Okay. That's weird. Okay, I was actually trying to, just out of curiosity, because the other thing I wanted to do was run the Cyrix diagnostic on this FPU. Alright, so I've unplugged it. I'm going to leave it unplugged. So, I did find the Cyrix diagnostic. Someone fortunately archived the disk on archive.org. I think it was archived after I last looked for it. Well, that's really nice, StreamYard. Yes, I realized that a bot just put something in the chat, and apparently there's something wrong with my chat. I am now opening the chat up on YouTube so that... Oh, thank you, Joe. Yes, yes, thank you. I now remember the other day I did set a few people as mods, and I then promptly forgot who I set as mods. So thank you for realizing that I set you as a mod and deleted that bot message that the apparently the StreamYard chat has become disconnected with reality. So, yay. Okay. Anyways, I found the Cyrix diagnostic disk. It's a 360K image. So, I did, I think this morning, put that 360K image on my GoTech and booted DOS and then switched to that GoTech image, tried to use it, and I got a not ready reading drive A error constantly. So I thought, okay, well, maybe this 386 doesn't like... Oh, okay. No, that's actually an accurate error. In this case, there really wasn't a DOS boot disk in the GoTech. There we go. Now there is. Oh. I thought 360K was the 5.25-inch 360K image. On my XT computer, it actually, even with the GoTech set as a 1.44 megabyte floppy, it actually will read 360K drives, disks just fine from the GoTech. This 386 may not like them, but as you might have noticed, I am actually not... It won't boot. No, I've switched it to an actual legitimate 3.5-inch image of a DOS boot disk, and on the GoTech, and it is. It won't. It's not. Yeah, it's now, actually my XT, when I tried to set the GoTech to 360K to use that 360K image, it actually complained that the floppy drive was configured wrong. Oh! Actually, I see what the problem is. The cable worked its way out of the GoTech. In fact, I bet it did that while I was, when I switched to the Cyrix diagnostic, so maybe it really couldn't browse, maybe it really couldn't access the disk. That would explain how a GoTech might not work. Yes, I realized my Discord of some sort was blowing up in my pocket. Cable gremlins, yeah. I need to find some floppy cables and get a adapter that'll actually fit in the GoTech without hitting plastic. There's lots of things on my wish list, and, well, I can only buy so many of them every month. Okay, the GoTech is now plugged in to the floppy controller. it should actually now boot DOS. Maybe. Oh, yeah, I think it's booting. The LED's just pointing in a direction where I can't see it. Yeah, this cable could fail inside. It could be brittle. But in this case, the adapter, I think I managed to pull it out of the Gotek without realizing it. While the computer was on, quite possibly. I guess... Oh. I guess I did put a DOS 622 disk. Alright. Function 3. Function 3. Okay. So I booted into DOS 622. Everyone's favorite. Unless your favorite's another one. Alright. Okay, now I've put the Cyrix diagnostic disk in. The Gotek is plugged in. And there we go. It's actually reading this. So... I'll try CheckIt after I... Oh, okay. Oh, what I really wanted to run was the FasMath. Cyrix Diagnostic. Demo and Diagnostic. Diagnostic. Exit. Well, I got a VGA card in, so 1. Whoops. Well, that's weird. Oh, it must be starting another executable or something. I think the Cyrix diagnostic crashed. Alright. Maybe I shouldn't have tried to run the demo and diagnostic. Alright, this time I'll try running CheckIt. Because I really would like... If I can get the XTCF running, then things get a lot faster. Of course, maybe that's why... Of course, I guess maybe if I accidentally unplugged something on the floppy cable, maybe that's why CheckIt crashed that time. Alright, so B... Alright. So the floppy drive is loading CheckIt. The air blowing out of this power supply is really cold. Oh, I think I was leaning on one of the keys on the keyboard by accident. Or I hope that's what that was. Oh, I guess I took the thermometer thing I had down here upstairs. The floppy drive is not accessing anymore. Maybe CheckIt will load momentarily. Maybe there's... Well, I guess there's one thing I could do. Could just try changing jumper settings on the XTCF until it actually does something. Alright. We're going to try the brute force method to getting this XTCF to work. So I just changed the base address to D800 because that's the other option on the jumpers. I have no idea if that address is free. And if it doesn't like that, I'll change the I/O port jumper. And if it doesn't like that, I'll change the base address jumper back to C800. Okay, that did not... Okay, well, it didn't like that. No, the XTCF doesn't have that. It should be. I'll go into the BIOS and check it. Okay. Okay, I'm going to try C800, but changing the port address to 320. And... oh, wait a minute. The base... well... actually, that's probably not going to help. In order to go up to DE00, I would have to go pad the ROM image. It is disabled. Although, you know, I doubt the I/O address was the problem because the BIOS should have still tried to load. Because the other thing is, it's kind of annoying to use my XT computer to configure the XT IDE BIOS, because for some reason they're... and maybe this is a sign that there's something wrong with the two floppy drives I have that I can actually get to read disks. Their program crashes half the time when I try to load the BIOS image in it on the XT computer. So maybe both floppy drives I have are dirty. I don't... Network chips are sitting in there. Network chips, I only have a video card in the XT-CF installed. The hard drive is disabled in BIOS. The serial and parallel aren't conflicting. And there's a floppy drive, and there's no other I/O on this board. No, there is no network on board this computer. The only networking this computer had was this wonderful modem, which is so wonderful it doesn't have a manufacturer's name on it. And the part number leads me to believe this is a 2400 BPS modem. So yeah, we just need to find a spot for the ROM. And this XTCF only lets you select C800 or D800. And if you need to move the ROM past that, you have to pad the BIOS image. And I don't have a easy way to pad the BIOS image. It'd be easier for me to go try to create a floppy disk image with CheckIt on it, so I could put it on my GoTech. Yeah, I'm very tempted. Well, actually, the thing is, honestly, since this 386 has onboard IDE, I don't need... Oh, I don't have a 64K EEPROM. Well, no, I don't have a 64K EEPROM. The short answer is no. The long answer is yes, I might have a 64K EEPROM, but it has data on it because I pulled it out of a board and I have no way of erasing it because I have no UV lights. So, actually, the thing is, I'd rather not use this XTCF in this computer. The only reason I'm even trying to do it is so that I can try to run CheckIt off of something that doesn't take floppy drive speed to boot. But it looks like I need to go... I think I just need to create a disk image. Luckily, I have WinImage installed on my PC upstairs. I think I just need to bite the bullet, go take this floppy disk upstairs, go take my USB drive upstairs, create a quick image of it, and yeah, and of course, if this floppy disk is bad, there's no guarantee I'll be successful at creating the image, but I gotta go try. So anyways, I'm gonna go take a quick break down here so I can go create a floppy image so I can stop using this mechanical floppy drive. So I'll probably be back in... It'll take me a couple minutes to do it, probably. So, yep. I'll talk to you later, Tom. I'll send you a message on Discord. I'll get a chance to do that this weekend. So, all right. Well, I'll be right back, and I'll have a GoTech image that has CheckIt in it. So, yep. Alright, I have more images on my USB drive for my GoTech. Alright, so I'm going to try the image that I created for my CheckIt floppy disk. It seemed to read fine on my USB floppy drive, so maybe the disk is fine and the drive is dirty. And if that fails, I created a floppy disk image that has the CheckIt installer on it, and there might be enough free space on that disk to let me install CheckIt on the same disk. Maybe. Just maybe. The other good thing is I can see the LED on the GoTech much easier. Alright. Well, this is promising. I spoke too soon, I think. If your system hangs for more than a minute, note the last step completed and refer to your manual for help. Alright. Well, while I wait to see if that actually hangs for a minute, I am going to see if I have anything that I can use to remove a PLCC chip without risking total annihilation of the socket. No, I do not have a PLCC chip puller. I don't think my spudger has a fine enough tip. I think I need a pin or something. All right. Okay. I am going to take an educated guess here. Oh, I guess I forgot to turn on screen share. So, CheckIt crashed in the step where it was looking for the math coprocessor. So I am going to see if I can find a pin or something that I can put into the PLCC socket and attempt to gently lift the chip up. Actually, one of the... No. I don't think that's sturdy enough. I'm really beginning to wonder if the math coprocessor is because it failed the CheckIt test, and I initially chalked that up to, well, maybe CheckIt doesn't know how to test a Cyrix FasMath coprocessor, but maybe, just maybe, the problem really is that there's something wrong with it. So I'm going to see if I can find something to pull it out. Unfortunately, well, this was a risk I took because I knew I didn't have a PLCC chip lifter. I don't know if there's like anything I can... If I had a paper clip or something. Well, I may have to put looking at this computer on hold until I can get a PLCC chip lifter. Or find something I can hook under the processor that's sturdy enough. Arg. Do I have anything? Well, I wonder if the hook on my test leads, if that's... Well, I will probably ruin my test leads doing this, but... Well, these weren't the greatest test leads anyways. Let me see if I can hook them under the chip. No. Oh. Well, that's... Alright, well, let's try that. Insert chip lead, chip under there, and see if I can insert that under there. And alright, that's not going to work. Alright. Hold on, I am trying to... Oh, maybe one of my soldering tips has a fine enough point to get it down in there. I'd go grab a piece of Romex, but I think 14 gauge copper wire is probably too big. Don't have any 18 gauge copper wire yet. I ordered some for another project. Let's see here. Oh, well. Okay, no, that didn't work. I didn't realize you could bend these solder tips that easily. Oh, there we go. Well, okay, I do not recommend using a fine point Hacko soldering tip to pry a PLCC chip out of the socket. Probably, because you will ruin your soldering tip. Well, Alright, I got the chip out. I got the math coprocessor out. It... And the socket is unscathed. Okay, so let's see if CheckIt runs any better without the math coprocessor. Because maybe there was something wrong with it and it was crashing the bus. Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't... Well, I don't know. Defective components can have bad consequences. All right. I'll just start removing components piece by piece until I find something that makes the system happy. Of course, the thing is that FPU did not fail a diagnostic that I would have expected that... All right, here we go. All right, Tom, when you watch this back on the replay, here is what CheckIt says is used on the system. So from 0 to 40 hex, we have 1K of interrupt vectors, which I think that's fine. Okay, I can skip programs. 5E2D to A000 is available. It would be the top of RAM. A000 to C000 is the 128K VGA video RAM. C000 to C600 is 24K video ROM. C600 to E000 is nothing. So it looks like C800 should be available. And then E000 to 0000 is 128K system ROM. So it looks like I should be able to use C800 or D800. The XTIDE BIOS image I'm using is 12K. So, but yeah, without the math coprocessor, that ran like a champ. Alright, I wonder if the memory test will actually run, because CheckIt crashed when I tried to run this. Oh, look at this. Memory test passed. I want to change this to the quick memory test only, no. And this one pass, run memory test. Alright, so it's going to run the more comprehensive memory test. Well, I mean, maybe it's a bit too soon to declare success, but maybe the whole problem was that math coprocessor I installed. It looked like it was... I mean, I thought it looked like it might have been new in box. Although I guess maybe some of the seals on the box kind of looked a little weird, but maybe it was a resealed box. Maybe it was defective. Maybe it never worked and Cyrix just lucked out that well, I don't know that they really, well, actually I think their IP is still owned by someone and used somewhere. I guess their warranty department lucked out that no one installed this math coprocessor during the warranty lifetime of it. Oh, no, that was just the box for the math coprocessor. The math coprocessor's sitting over here. Although, honestly, if this computer works correctly without it, I will have to declare it defective. I mean, I'll put it in an anti-static bag. I might try it again once I get a PLCC chip lifter. Because I can't... because I'm all out of soldering tips that were small enough to fit in to lift it out. So I guess I'll get a PLCC chip lifter, and maybe I'll then contact clean the FPU socket. But I'm kind of leaning towards it might have been defective because the socket looks like it has gold. The pins in the socket look like they're gold plated. So I'm not sure they would have been oxidized. But yeah, CheckIt's running... I'm running tests that I wasn't able to run before now. Well, I guess my LC will be happy because I can put this Siemens RAM back into it. And I guess I now know that I just need to go find some 1 megabyte 30-pin parity SIMMs on eBay. Eight of them. Unless someone like has a collection and they'd be willing to spare a couple. But yeah, then it'd be nice to get 8 megabytes in this computer. And actually, I'm highly tempted to try to find get one of those compact flash to IDE adapters, because if the onboard IDE works, or even if maybe what I do is just get get maybe one of those add-in ROM cards, because I think the XT IDE BIOS will work with other IDE controllers, because it's a 16-bit IDE. That'd be faster than trying to put use the XT IDE that's 8-bit. I probably misconfigured the BIOS. I'll have to try a few things. I guess if I get to the point where this computer is working reliably, then I can actually try configuring the BIOS on this computer and telling it to auto-configure, and maybe I'll have better luck. Which I took the XT IDE upstairs thinking I was not going to get this computer to cooperate. I guess it turns out that math coprocessor I bought on eBay in 2020, well, was no good. Yeah, I actually did earlier today. I searched eBay for math coprocessors, and well, there weren't many on eBay. There were a few. I guess maybe I'll just probably go for one of the Intel ones if I do get another one. Because actually I found an auction that was selling the Cyrix ones, but the chips looked funny. And maybe it's because they were remarked. Maybe they were Cyrix FPUs that were remarked, but the silkscreen on them looked really funny. But yeah, I suspect this math coprocessor is defective. I was probably just bringing the whole bus down. Because there we go, base memory passed. And it is possible that the RAM socket's oxidized, that might have been not helping things, but I didn't get any parity errors yesterday. So I'm kind of wondering if the oxidized sockets just prevented me from removing the memory easily. But I guess if anyone's out there watching and you're watching Ron's stream too, let Ron know I said hi and that I'm also having fun testing memory. And I guess my LC will be happy to get its memory back. Alright, well, that is kind of a shame that the math coprocessor is defective. So if anyone watching this, probably on the replay, happens to know the location for the manual for the Emerson Elite 380, or actually it's the Emerson Elite SX386 computer, maybe you might scan it in and archive it on archive.org. That would be great. Because there are a couple jumpers on this board, and they're not marked as to what they do. So it'd be nice knowing what they do. I mean, one of them is in a position where it could be a CMOS clear. But I'm not totally convinced of that. The other one's down here by the ISA slots. Oh, and I just noticed there's actually another jumper down here by the chipset. J2. There's no jumper on it. I suppose I could... Oh, there we go. The RAM test passed. Guess I'll run the... Yep, it was the NPU arithmetic functions that failed on that Cyrix. Interestingly enough, the trigonometric functions and the comparison functions passed, but the arithmetic functions failed. Alright. Now this is the test I wanted to run on this 8-bit ISA card because... Oh, would you look at that? The RAM test passed on this card. Oh! And that screen actually looks totally correct. You'll have to watch the video that'll be coming out soon to... Okay, well, now that does not look correct. That does. And that does. That does. that does not look correct. Yep, that... Ah, I'm actually seeing the grids. Yeah, the grid tests are working. I didn't see anything there. Okay. Yep, that actually worked. That one worked. Yeah, I'm actually seeing color palettes. Ah, the monochrome display adapter test failed. Okay, that MDA character failed. Okay, that might actually be an EGA mono graphics test failed. Well, that might actually be okay for this 8-bit VGA card. It may not actually support those modes. Because I know some VGA cards didn't have totally great backwards EGA and CGA compatibility, so I'm not going to worry about those failures. But the interesting thing is, the first 32 bytes of RAM on this VGA card fail the VGA RAM test on my XT computer. So I think there's something conflicting. I may run CheckIt again on that computer and see if I can run the memory map and see if there's a conflict. Because you can't disable the onboard video on that computer. Well, I guess the benchmark, that's pretty good. Tools. Alright, well, CheckIt actually worked. Oh. Alright, now let me do something here. Alright. I just switched the GoTech image. Alright, so my 8-bit ISA card probably works. So it looks like I might have ordered RAM for... Well, I'm not going to replace the RAM on the card. So I guess that particular card is just incompatible with my XT. Alright, I'm going to go run upstairs real quick and grab my XT compact flash. So I'll be back in a quick moment. Alright, I am back downstairs. I have the XTCF installed. I actually put the 16-bit VGA card in because it's got the cool little text that shimmers and prints. I know some video cards back in the day had fancier, splashy things, but simple's nice. Okay, I have the image selected on the GoTech for the DOS install that I have the XTCF programs on. And hopefully, let's see here. XTIDE 622, XTIDE CFG. So let's see. Now that I know what the memory map is, so I'm going to load BIOS from file. And I want to try to use the 386 large. I want to configure it. I'm going to auto-configure it. Ah. Okay. I think I may... when I manually configured it upstairs, not knowing what to pick, I selected... a different setting here. I just picked, I think, this one. Might have also picked the wrong base address. Alright. I had trouble getting this program to flash, so I'm going to use the 386 large.bin C800. I do have shadow turned off in BIOS, so I know I'm actually writing to the EEPROM. Alright. Control-Alt-Delete. Pretty confident it'll work this time. And it did not. Well, all right. I guess I could try the... Alright, I guess I'll just try the regular 386 BIOS. Found 0 controllers. Okay, interesting. Maybe that's why it... Alright, I guess I'll try another ISO slot. If this doesn't work, I'm going to give up trying to use the XT IDE in this computer because it's not what I really wanted to use in it anyways. And I'll just go ahead and flash the XT ROM back on this so I can put it back in my XT, which needs an 8-bit controller. Sure enough, it, even though the memory map seemed to indicate that there were no conflicts, it's not seeing the BIOS. Alright. Okay. Well, let me put the image back on this that I need for my other computer. Alright, flash. And that is going to be... sorry. IDE XTL.bin. Now, I should note to anyone watching this, and as you might be able to tell by the compile dates, maybe. No, actually you can't tell from that. The XT versions of the BIOS are ones I built. That's weird. So the XT ones are ones I built. I had to add the very late initialization option for my 8000 EC. It would not boot otherwise. Attempting JDEC programming. Of course, maybe I need to deoxidize the... well, maybe there's oxidation in that ISO slot. Erase operation failed. Alright, well, looks like I'm gonna have to... well, actually, almost looks like... well, maybe that slot's oxidized, because the flash utility at least saw the EEPROM in this other slot. Either that or I've managed to wear out the EEPROM after a very small number of erase cycles. Alright. I'd at least like to fix this so that it will work when I take it upstairs. Because then I at least don't have to go Because in that case, I could just leave everything down here, take my XTIDE upstairs, and if I decide I want to play Planet X3, then, well, that's all I need. Alright. Hopefully moving this to this other slot that it seemed to like more. And I guess what I can do is I can spray some of that contact cleaner in these ISA slots tonight. I'll just pull all the cards out and spray some contact cleaner in the ISA slots. I'd rather use deoxit for something like that, but, well, it is contact cleaner. Flash IDE XTL.bin C800. There we go. I mean, I really doubt it's going to... Yeah, I didn't think it was going to boot off the XTIDE. I mean, I guess there is one thing I could go do. I could go build a... do a 386 build with that very late initialization option. I really don't know why a 386 is not to the point where it does the interrupt 19 correctly. Because the late initialization option basically intercepts a different interrupt. That's more technical than I want to get into, but normally I think the interrupt 19 it comes from the BIOS, and that's usually what disk controllers use to know to run. But the late initialization has it listen for interrupt 13, which happens really late in the boot process, and is actually, I think, the interrupt the BIOS uses to actually start booting off of another drive. Which, considering... well, the instructions for XTIDE do say that if it doesn't boot with the other options, that there is the very late initialization. I might even have that BIOS image built. I just didn't copy it to the floppy because I didn't need it. Well, what's a few more minutes? I'll go to be right back. If I have it built, because the makefile builds everything, then I'll just go grab it and put it on the disk image, and we'll give one more BIOS image a try. All right. Excellent. Alright, there should be 2 more BIOS files on this floppy image now. Alright, XTIDECFG. Load BIOS. I'm going to try to use late 386 large because it has the most features. Configure it. Auto configure. Yep, that's right. And I'm going to save the virus back to the original file. And exit to DOS. Flash. Late 386L.bin C800. Just double checking something here. Still disabled, so shadow is disabled. Alright. Alright, if this doesn't work, then I'm going to give up trying to get this to work, and I'll just have to order parts. Nope. Alright, so it just looks like... Well, I guess maybe I'll try my deoxit the ISA slots. Although the thing is, it sees the card in this slot here. Of course, the slot I put it in now is a slot that there was a card in, and it's the one I've been trying to use this card in, so I don't know. Oh. Well, I want to put this back in my XT. Flash IDE XTL.bin C800. I'm quite honestly just wondering if the XTCF is incompatible with this computer. That's about the conclusion I'm going to draw for tonight. Alright, at least I now have the image that my XT clone requires to work with that card. So I guess the good news is Alright, so I guess the good news is uninstalling the math coprocessor seems to have been the key to getting the computer to be stable. Although possibly contact cleaner in the memory slots may have also helped. It does, on the bad side, I have not been able to get the XTCF to work, and I don't have another way of, I don't have any IDE drives to put in this. Not by a long shot. I think all the drives I have are SATA and are like obscenely large for something of this vintage. I mean, I guess I could go pull an adapter out of something and try a SATA drive, but they're just so large. That's a waste for a 2 GB partition if I install DOS 622. So, not inclined to do that. I guess I'll get a compact flash adapter and plug it in and use the onboard IDE or give that a try. Oh, hi, Tom. I've come to the conclusion the XTCF just doesn't want to work with this computer. I've tried. No, I do not have any old IDE drives that are anywhere close to the right size for this computer. I think I had some before I moved and I tossed them. I've got an old SCSI drive sitting beside me, but that won't help. Well, I take that back. I do have... I forgot about one. It's a 60 gigabyte, so that means I'll have 58 gigabytes I can't use. Yes, I did get CheckIt running. I had to, because actually, when I tried to run CheckIt off the GoTech, fortunately, CheckIt crashed at a point where it made it crystal clear what the problem was. It was the math coprocessor. Because it crashed trying to determine the math coprocessor. So I pulled the math coprocessor out at great cost to things on my workbench that were never designed to remove math coprocessors. The socket's fine. I don't know. Somehow I suspect the chip is actually not fine. You know, I really wish they'd used a keyed IDE connector. But the computer is really stable without the math coprocessor installed. Alright. So, let's see. I think I want to probably set this drive to... I'm going to limit the cylinders. So, but yeah, the memory actually tested fine. I suspect there really was a problem with those 4 megabyte SIMMs, so I probably was never going to get it to work with those. But, oh, there was a keyed side on this connector. Oh, and I'm glad I found it because I had the cable in backwards. Okay. So anyways, memory test fine. That 8-bit video card, the memory tested fine on it. Actually, I set the drive to the 4092 cylinder limit setting. Although, I guess maybe I don't need that if, because I'm going to have to manually enter the numbers anyways. Alright, so 16 heads and 63 sectors, and I'll configure it for however many cylinders it lets me get away with. Alright. Okay, let's see what happens. I completely forgot that I had that drive sitting there. It came out of my Mac Mini. Or not my Mac Mini, my iMac G4. there's nothing on it that I need to retain. Alright, let's see here. Oh, it spins up. Alright, so let's see here. So cylinders. I wonder how many. It's going to let me enter 16,383. Oh. One. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to like that. I don't know how many cylinders it's going to let me, wait a minute. Sector. That's not right. 51,512. It does not have auto. I don't know what the biggest number is going to let me get away with. Yeah, it doesn't like that. I don't know what it wants for sector. Let me scroll up and see what some of the other. Oh, that sectors. Does it really want me to tell it how many sectors per track there are? Oh. I don't know what number to give it. Well, I guess I don't know. We'll see if it even likes that. Oh, wait a minute. I think I know where I made my mistake. Let me go back into setup. Oh, I think now it's actually, now that I enabled the hard drive controller, it's probably actually, yeah. Okay, let's try that. I'm so used to the BIOSes that had cylinders had sectors consecutively, I didn't realize I put the number I wanted to put for sectors in the pre-comp, or whatever that setting is. Oh, wait. I think I see the other problem. I made a slight jumpering mistake. The drive was not configured for anything. I forgot to put the second jumper back on. Oh, there we go. I think I actually heard the hard drive click. The heads move. I don't think the drive liked the jumper setting I had. Maybe it will now. Hopefully the BIOS sees the drive. Sees something. Although that delay is not encouraging. Oh, wait a minute. Forgot to enable the hard drive controller. Which, considering the setup program's considering the BIOS seemingly knew there was a hard drive there, even though I had it disabled. Go figure. Hey, I think it's booting from the GoTech. Well, not that I really wanted to put a spinning hard drive in this, but I guess it's better than nothing. Alright, let me... do something here. There we go. I switched DOS boot disks. For a 386, I'll actually install DOS 622 because I can actually put things into upper memory blocks. Yeah, this will get me going for testing, for sure. I mean, there's nothing on this Maxtor hard drive I need to keep. Let's see here. Continue. Although I still haven't done the ultimate thing of seeing if I can percussively get that Seagate drive to work. Although before I try that, I need to look up its specs on the internet to see how to configure it, because I'll probably only get one shot at getting it to spin up. Actually, the good thing will be if I can get this Mac store set up with DOS, then that'll give me a hard... If I do manage to get it spinning and there's actually data on it that I might want to copy off, then I'll probably get one shot at that. $93.11. Oh no, I need to fill out the registration card. Yeah. Well, it feels somewhat wrong to have a hard drive with an Apple logo connected to a PC, but, well, it's the drive I have that's not being used. Well, anyways, I think this is a good point to call the stream to an end, because my hands are actually cold. Partially because I turned my heater off thinking that I was going to give up a little while ago. My basement is not that warm at the moment, especially with the heater turned off. So I'm going to go ahead and call the stream to an end. I will let DOS finish installing, and then I'll power the system down for the night. But this will at least get me up and running for testing. So I guess some things I'll do. Well, since I have a hard drive to use on this system for testing, yeah, it's going to get down to like 17 degrees Fahrenheit here. That's going to be negative Celsius. So my basement's like 45 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty cold. Because it's uninsulated, and the heat pump you see behind me, the heat pump you see the edge of behind me is actually for the first floor. So I just have a little radiator beside me that I turned off 30 minutes ago. So, anyways, I guess this will give me a hard drive I can use for now. I may look into getting a compact flash card and an adapter so I can at least use something that's solid state. I may even get one of the compact flash adapters that will stick out a slot on the back so I can pull it out and copy files to it as a quicker way of getting software on the computer. I know that at least my VGA 8-bit VGA card works. I probably will capture some video tomorrow and insert that in the video I'm working on to at least further explain the troubleshooting I've done. And I'm going to order some 30-pin or find some 30-pin SIMMs for this computer, because I think a 386 will be much more enjoyable with more than a megabyte of memory. But at least I now know that it does need parity SIMMs, because I suspect without what I did tonight, I would have probably bought the wrong kind of memory, because I'd be like, well, this is just a desktop computer. Why would it have parity memory? Even desktops now don't have parity, but okay, whatever. So with that, I would like to wish everyone a good night. And I'm sure this computer will come back in a future stream. Might actually play some games on it or do something like that. But for now, I think I accomplished what I wanted to do this week, which was to see it running. Even if I did have to pull the math code processor out that I bought for it, I'm sure at some point I'll manage to find one at the right price. So, if you're not a subscriber and you want to check out further PC shenanigans, subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know if there's a game you'd like to see played on a 386SX at 16 megahertz. And hope you have a good day, and I hope to see you next time. Good night.